Hello and welcome everyone, I'm C.S.Gilmore, and this is PowerWash Simulator. We're going to head into the park. I think today seems our little town is going up in the world. Muckingham Skate Park has been chosen to host the next county championships. Ordinarily, I'd leave the sullen types to roll around on their own filth, as is their wont. But if it's getting in the papers and on TV, we can't have people seeing all that grime and funny writing. So I want you to hit with everything you've got. Hit it with everything you've got. Muckingham Recreation Ground. How do, Dirt Finder? I got a real doozy for you when you can spare a minute for us over at the recreational grounds. Alright, yeah, let's join in and get this going. Jump in. Been a while since I did one of these videos. Hold on a sec. Did I accidentally do the fire station? This is the fire station. I'm fairly confident. I must have clicked on the wrong thing. Whoops. Oh well, fire station is then. But, yeah, been a while since I did this. You know, before we continue with this, let me save, go back to career mode, clean the fire station. What is this one's? Our fire station is this monkey's a pig pen. Ordinarily, we just break out a few crates of the cold stuff and let the strong arms and hoses have it. But with it being sent here, there, and everywhere in search of the mayor's staying cat, we just don't have the time. I'm messaging you from the lower branches of an oak tree at Great River that I can already see has no cat in it. Your name came highly recommended. Thanks, Denver. Details, messages. Is this the filth? Is this the filth amendment? This is the fire chief. We need you to clear your diary. This is a big job the whole of the fire station needs doing. Alright. So, that's a thing. Alright, we'll do this. Yeah, we can do the fire station. Sure, why not? How I have to get these lights at all the angles. Looks like go up here, or if I'm gonna have to get special cleaner for some of this. Maybe? Nope, that works. Trying to remember what some of the buttons were. It's like I said, it's been a while since I did this. But I like to have, you know, a bit of a gap between them just because I know this is more of a chatty, like, just, hey, let's talk while something's going on type of game in a lot of ways. For me, life's been busy. About a month from now, and I'll be, well, probably a lot less than that by the time you actually see this video. But, I'll be probably busy dealing with my 4th child being born. And that's going to mean, I don't know what it's going to mean for my schedule for releasing videos. I've been debating changing it up a bit as is because we've been doing a lot of longer videos and some of them have been kind of taking multiple days to record. Just because of the way they are and the difficulty of doing some of the stuff in them. Let me check something real quick. Controls. What was the one to show? So this left mouse button, the previous nozzle, yeah, blah. Road equipment pickup. Show dirt was tab. That's right. Okay. I just couldn't remember what some of this stuff did. Yeah, there it is. But, yeah, so busy life coming up, and that could interfere with my being able to record, just because my wife and I are probably going to be a lot more tired, and also my wife's going to need a lot more help with the kids, because she'll have her arms full with the little one, who's going to primarily want her for the time being. due to her being the source of sustenance and being a lot more warm and comfy than I am. I'm a little too bony and cold most of the time to be comfortable for little children. We just want to be swallowed up nice and warm and comfy. Why? So, yeah. We'll see how it goes. Alright, that wall seems to be done. Let's focus on this. Otherwise, work's been busy, getting through things. What is up with this? This says a sign drawn here. Is that like just some weird graffiti, or is it supposed to mean something? Didn't get a good look at it before I washed it off, so not 100% sure what they were going for. We'll have to see what else pops up. No, that part's done. Oh, that's why this wall... I was like, why is this wall showing so little clean even though most of it's done? And it's like, that's because it's not just a little pillar like the other one. This one is all the way over here. Nice to see the sheen of the metal come through, though. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. But, yeah, so I'm not sure what life's going to be like in a little bit. I mean, fourth child, you know, we're kind of already done this before. We're kind of used to it. But at the same time, depending on how it all goes down and how needy the baby's going to be, if it's going to be a high needs baby or a low needs baby, or just average, like that could all affect a lot about how well we can handle it or how much one of us is going to be kept busy. Are they a baby that's going to sleep at night, or are they a baby that's going to be up half the night being upset and driving us all crazy from lack of sleep? You never know. Unfortunately, that's one of those things about parenthood. You don't know until it's too late. I'm going to need some rust removal for that. But let's keep working on the stuff that I can remove for now, just so that I don't deal with that just yet. I don't want to swap out the necessary cleaning materials, specialty ones, just for a little patch, and then find out I need it on other spots later. Office overhang, huh? Okay. I want to know how this place all gets so dirty. Also, I don't think I've seen, unless I've completely zoned out and missed it, I haven't seen a lot of like text message info like pop up for this like we usually do. Like, this one seems weirdly quiet. Usually there's at least a little story to go along with it that pops up. Oh well. There we go. Pretty happy with that. There we go. That window, that window. All good, all good. Speed challenges for this game are insane when you try those. Let's see. What else to talk about today? Going off of the things they don't tell you when you become a parent. Like, they'll mention, oh yes, you'll never be alone again. Yeah, they tell you that after you've already got the kid on the way, probably. Not, hey, maybe consider that before you jump into having a kid. If you're not ready for it, it can be pretty jarring. And also, there's the whole matter of you'll never be alone again. I mean, and they mean when you get told that, I mean, like, don't expect any privacy ever again, because the kids will just be like, "Oh, you're on the toilet, Mom, I need a thing, Dad, I need a thing." Boom, they'll tear the door down if they feel like they need to, or sure feel like they do, because boy, they'll just barrel right on in to anything you're doing and be like, "Yo, hey, I need this now." What do you mean you're on the toilet and can't get me milk from the fridge just a second? All right, well, I still need milk. And then you'll be like, "Hold on, I will get it in a minute, but I need milk." It's like, wait. Children do not comprehend wait very well. Most of the time. But let's face it, they haven't been alive long enough to really get the idea of, taking your time with it. As far as they know, wait and a long time are 3 seconds late. And that's one of the things that also you have to be ready for with parenting is you're going to have to be patient. Take it easy, breathe. Remember, they don't know better, and they probably aren't even going to be capable of knowing better for many years. At least until they're probably about 8 years old. Then their brains might start to develop certain areas in a way that they might comprehend, hey, maybe this is a no, I shouldn't do that thing. A lot more so than otherwise. Before then, like little children, they don't know better. And yeah, you might think, well, I told them not this or that, but it's like, no, they don't know better. They don't understand. They don't comprehend. Their brain does not function in that way yet. Give it time, they'll figure it out, maybe, but it's going to take some time, and some people aren't going to be willing or ready to have that type of patience with someone. It's very easy to begin the mindset of, I already told you, no, I already told you, don't do that. And you have to remember, they really don't know better. And they probably don't even remember when you told them that, or understood what you were referring to when you told them, hey, don't do that. Other fun thing is when you're having more than one kid, sometimes it can help. Like your first child, you're going to have, and you're probably going to be going, I am going to break this child somehow. You're going to be super nervous about everything, and you're going to want to be super careful about everything. And it's just, yeah, first time parenting, there's no instruction manual, not really in that regard, like a full for everything. You're going to run into situations where it's very helpful to have an experienced adult who's had children and everything to be able to call in the middle of the night and be like, hey, this is going on. Should I be worried? Do I need to do something with this? Or how do I deal with this? The child has not slept. We need to sleep. I have work in the morning. And I cannot sleep because the child is having constipation and is upset about everything in life. And sometimes you're just going to have to live with it and work from there. And other times there's going to be oh yeah, nope, that is something you should work on with this. Maybe try swaddling them, try this approach, try that approach. It can vary so much from child to child. Probably one of the reasons I would say, if hopefully you have a good parents yourselves that you can go to and ask these things, like I said, because you're going to probably have situations where you're going to be trying to contact them in the literal middle of the night. or 2 in the morning going, I need help. You're going to be on the verge of tears or in tears because you're sleep deprived, have no idea what to do. You can't be angry at the child because they don't know better, but you're losing your mind, you're losing your temper, whether you want to or not, and you're trying to figure out what you can do because you can't cross the language barrier of the child doesn't understand language, and you don't know how to figure out what they need. And your sleep-deprived brain can't figure out, okay, wait, I changed their diaper already. Maybe that's it. No. Do they want their bottle? No. Do they have a gas bubble? Maybe. Are they just upset because of something else? Do they have a stomachache? Are they running a fever? Are they too warm? Are they too cold? Do they not like being wrapped up a specific way? Like, to help with the understanding of how, like, why a child might be like that as well, remember, they are new to this world. They don't have experiences. Any inconvenience at all, anything that is painful for them, uncomfortable even, is the most uncomfortable and painful thing they have ever experienced, very possibly. And they don't know how to cope. That's some of those things that some of us may do just naturally anymore because we're so used to it. But they are new and they don't know how. So being a parent, you have to be very patient. You have to be very understanding, and that can be very hard under various conditions. Another thing, change the diaper. I don't care if you're the mom or you're the dad. You are not above changing the diaper of your child. You help be part of the reason they're there on the earth, or if you adopted them or whatever. Like, you are their parent figure. Help each other out. If one parent is the only one doing all the work, there's problems in your relationship already that you probably need to work on. And maybe you have a reason. Maybe there's a reason that, well, you can't do something. Alright, make sure that's known by everyone in the relationship, and that you have a workaround. Like, okay, so maybe you have some insane gag reflex issue, you can't handle vomit, and your baby has a issue where they tend to vomit a lot. One, that's probably not good. You're gonna have to get over that, probably, either way. But at the same time, okay, if your partner's the one who has to handle that, you better be doing something to make up for it. Like, okay, they're handling all the vomit, you handle all the diapers. Or something along those lines. And yes, some of you might be thinking, well, I'm providing for the family. Yes, and your wife or your husband, whoever's the stay-at-home parent, is equally working. They may not be being paid to work, but they are equally working because children are not easy to take care of. Even you might be thinking, especially when they're little, but they're just eating and sleeping. Yeah, and they need a lot of it, and they may need it on a dime. Like, they may go from I'm asleep to I'm hungry to I'm asleep to I need a diaper change to I'm asleep to I'm hungry again, and this may all be within like a half-hour period. They're going to be bouncing all over the place in one way or another, and as they get older, they may be literally bouncing all over the place. And so whoever's staying at home and working with the kids is going to be working their butts off as well. So don't think just because you had a long day at work and you got home, you're getting off scot-free of having to do anything. You need to help with the kids. That is a must, otherwise someone's going to burn out and there's going to be problems in your relationship, almost guaranteed. This is my general life advice, having been married for many years now, and like I said, this is my 4th child. If you get up to 2 kids, it gets tricky. Like the first kid, like I mentioned, you're going to be going, oh no, I'm going to break this thing. This child is going to get broken in some way, and you're going to be super worried about that. Second child, you're going to be a little more used to it. You're going to be expecting it. But at the same time, you're going to get caught off guard by things because every child is unique. And one child may have had their own quirks, like in one way where they're very sensitive to one thing or another. Maybe they have an allergy, or they like something a certain way. And then another child will have completely different triggers to what sets them off. They may not care about having a wet diaper. They may be super sensitive to having a wet diaper and want it changed as soon as it gets even a tiny bit wet. Things like that. Or they may be super easy to burp, or they might be near impossible to burp. Like some of my kids, like you had to like thump them on the back, like really thump them really good just to jar any burps loose, and they would be upset until that burp got out. But my kids, oddly enough, even though I as a kid was horrible for spitting up a bunch, none of my kids really had that problem. They've been the opposite of, okay, you have to work to get anything out of them, including gas, which is making their lives miserable and thus making your life miserable because they're miserable and they are going to make sure you know it. Once you get up to 3 kids, you have to remember, you only have 2 hands. And so that can leave you into some tough circumstances, especially since the youngest one is probably going to take one or both of your hands at all times. Those strap-on harnesses where they are right up against, held up against your chest and can snooze and be kind of swaddled at the same time safely. Those are great because they can help free up your hands to help get the one child their milk bottle, get one of the other children some cereal, work out whatever else you need to do with your life, maybe get the dishes done or sweep the floors while having a child strapped to you at all times because they are not able to sleep unless they're glued to you. Other children, they may not care. They may just lie. You may be able to set them down and they're good. Unfortunately, there is only so much advice that can ever really be given on parenting because every child is unique and has their own quirks and challenges. I was a high needs baby myself, and my parents were super stressed out when I was a child because they're like, are kids normally like this? Do they need to be held all the time? Do they need all this attention all the time? And do they have this much trouble sleeping all the time? Do they have all these issues? I was a very high needs baby. I was upset about a lot of things. I was colicky, if I remember right, my mom saying. And it was I was a nightmare child when I was little. And yeah, but the doctor's like, it's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. They're not crying. He's not crying all the time because you're doing anything wrong. He's crying all the time because he is a high needs baby. And unfortunately, that means that there is a lot of, hey, they need a lot of attention and it's going to be hard. Thankfully for my parents, I grew out of that. But that still was a couple years there when I was a little teeny child that, oh boy, they were at their wits' end for it. I don't know what they were I'm surprised that I didn't scare them off from having more children because I have a younger brother and a younger sister after me. I was their first kid. And so I apparently didn't terrify them out of having kids. but I don't know how I did. Then there is, sometimes someone else I know has a kid who will put themselves to bed at the they're a few years they're old enough to have some communication skills and all that, but like they will literally just be like, it's bedtime, I'm going to bed, and they'll go to sleep. They want their nap time on the clock, and it's like, is your child broken? Like, for me, that's insane, because all my kids are go, 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 go. Okay, I sit down with them, I work with them a bit to get them settled down for bed. My wife's already gone to bed because she can't stay up late. She is not a night owl. But my kids are up with me until I can get them to settle down and sit down, and then we've worked out, we've got a routine set up where it's, okay, cool, we do this, it's this time of night, so it's time to go shower and brush teeth, it's time to get ready for bed. Then you get into PJs, then we sit down and we play a game or read a book or both for a bit, and then once we're done with that, it's lights are out, no bouncing around, it's bedtime, go to sleep. And my kids have so far been pretty good about that. We've been able to establish a routine with them, and it's worked out fairly well. Some people, you can't set a routine with your kids sometimes because maybe life is just hectic enough that you don't have a standard run of time where you can work with certain things. Or it could just be that your kids themselves are not routine oriented. For my kids, if I break the routine, good luck, because that means they'll be up extra long, or they'll be extra hard to work with, getting them back into the routine or working on something. You have to stick to the routine to get the best results of getting them to bed on time, getting them to be fed, happy, and ready to go for the day, the next day. Honestly, I don't even know what my kids are. Like, my wife's not a night owl. I'm a night owl. I'm recording this probably coming up on midnight. What time is it right now? 11:22 right now as I am recording this video. I probably won't be in bed until a little after midnight. So sometime between midnight and 1 o'clock. I'm a night owl. And my kids would stay up with me if I let them, probably. But they also they've started to work out, starting to get into their own patterns of some of that stuff that the older kids are, where, okay, yeah, no, it's bedtime now, alright. But they will be up at 6 in the morning too, maybe earlier sometimes. They are morning people, and I don't understand that because I am not a morning person. My wife is sort of a morning person. She'll get up early, take care of the dog and everything, and then get started with the day. And I'm like, please don't wake me up until my alarm. I have to go to work after I get up. But my kids are like, yeah, we don't care. Wake up. I want milk. I want cereal. I want juice. I want something else. I want the TV. And we have to also make big rules. I didn't have this problem as a kid as much because we didn't have a lot of this stuff. But phones and things like that, tablets, electronic devices, you have to set rules as a parent with your kids, because otherwise your kids can be very susceptible to addictive behaviors like that. Screen time is a problem. And some parents, it can be too easy to fall into the pattern of, well, just turn on the TV and let that babysit the kids, as it were. But we also do homeschooling. We don't send our kids to public school. Our local public school kind of sucks. And so, yeah, we're homeschooling. And that means we have to set ground rules of, no, you don't get to watch TV or do this until after you do your school. Otherwise, they won't get their schoolwork done. And unfortunately, I'm not usually able to help a lot with that because I have to get up and go to work. I work, the standard, probably like when most kids would be in school, public school wise, I'm at work and handling a lot of stuff there, and my wife has to handle a lot of their schooling herself. And when we get to higher grades, we'll figure it out. We'll probably have to hire a mentor for certain subjects. Hey, how's Trix? Still loving spraying your jet around? Harper, stop. Okay, what in the world are you talking about, man? Narrowly missed out on another RV today. This thing was uglier than a chihuahua chewing a wasp, but it would have been my little wasp chewing chihuahua. I am not sure what that conversation there was just about, but that was okay. Anyway, back to washing this off and parenting discussions. Alright. Another things, like, talk about differences in children. My daughter will talk your ear off. Doesn't matter if you're a stranger or she's known you for years. She will talk your ear off. She will introduce herself to you. She will introduce everyone else around you to you. She will just go. Oh, this vent is super rusty. Okay, we'll have to give rust spray for that. And we have to get that building over there too. Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, my son is much more reserved, but he's also moderately autistic. Like, he and I share a lot in common. And one of his main obsessions is trains. He loves trains. He's also very mechanically oriented in a lot of ways. He's been playing the Legend of Zelda games. Especially the newer ones like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where there's crafting and puzzle solving, and a lot of some in-depth puzzle solving with the shrines. And he's amazing at it. He'll come up with solutions that none of us will have thought of. Or he'll put together some contraption in a way that's like, okay, wow, I can't believe that worked. And it'll work. And it'll be interestingly effective. Meanwhile, my daughter will get frustrated or something at the slightest drop of a hat and be like, and have a meltdown because she's scared of the monster chasing her and she doesn't know how to beat it, or because she just can't solve the puzzle and she's super frustrated with it, and we tell her, hey, try this, and she's like, and she'll just keep hammering at the same thing she was doing and be like, no, it's not working. And it's like, no, you try this. And sometimes you have to just sit down and make her. We had this whole thing where we tell her blow, because she has to just stop and go, and it helps her reset and breathe for a minute. Because otherwise she will just get into hysterics and go. And then my youngest, so far, my current youngest, not kind of one that's going to be born soon. She doesn't really have meltdowns that much, but she'll get into things, and if you tell her no and take something away from her, sometimes she'll be like, and be upset for a little bit, but then she'll move on. But the other times she'll have a complete, she'll just be like, and pout in a corner and, not make eye contact. It's like, I'm not talking to you anymore. For a while, she'll have one of those type of things. It's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't let you play with the knives. Sad, I didn't get to play with the knives. And she'll just have a pout fest for a bit, and then she'll usually get over it and move on, and suddenly she'll be happy again. And it's like, alright. Every child is unique, and some of them have some very interesting quirks. Both my daughters seem to be good at, like, they enjoy stinging a bit. My youngest really enjoys books a lot more than the other two seem to. Though some of them are starting to appreciate books a bit more. I believe my oldest is starting to learn how to read a bit and making good progress there. But, I don't know. There's all sorts of things that will come up in parenting that you'll never expect. Anytime your kids are sick, sucks. One, because chances are you're going to get sick too if it's anything contagious. Children are great germ vectors, and they will share it with you whether you want them to or not, and whether they meant to or not. Because they will walk over and just sneeze on you. They will sneeze in your mouth, in your eyes. They will hack, cough, and everything else. And one of the worst things for kids being sick is most of the medicine they can't have. The good medicine that you know is going to would kick it the whoever they're sick with butt. Yeah, they can't have it. They can't have NyQuil because they're too little and their certain organs are still developing in a way that they can't handle certain medicines in any form of dosage. And most of the dosages that they can handle and the medicines they can take are nowhere near as effective against, say, super congestion in their noses. And then they are going to be miserable. And that means you're going to be miserable because you are going to have to stay up all night helping them. And you're going to also be staying up all night just with the fact that you're going to be worried, are they still breathing? Are they okay? Are they barfing again? Because they coughed so much. Are they alright, or do I need to take them to the ER? And sometimes the answer is, yeah, you gotta take them to the ER. We've had to, my youngest, I've had to take over to the hospital just because, or not my youngest, my middle child now, had to take her to the hospital a few times because if she got an upper respiratory, she had breathing issues sometimes that would kick in. She would just, like, start wheezing, and it's like, oh no, you are not going to stop breathing on me, because man, little children's bodies react to stress differently than an adult's body. And so when, like, they stop, like, if they're having trouble with cough, 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 like, sometimes their body's reaction is to just shut down stuff. And you're like, so you have to keep on and be like, please keep breathing. Breathing is important. Breathing is our friend. Please, please, I don't want to go to the ER today. Please don't make me have to take you to the ER today. And sometimes the answer is, sorry, we're going to the ER today. There's the ladder. Good. I was a little worried for a second there that I would not have a ladder to get up here. But I guess that makes sense. I would make sure I had a ladder because you kind of need this level. Alright, let's do this. Okay, the roof being a mess, that kind of makes sense for this place. Instead of the walls and everything else on here, I'm like, how is this place such a mess? But the ceiling, like the roof, kind of makes sense because who's going to have been up here? It's probably just collected gunk and detritus, especially if there were trees nearby. You're going to get leaves on here, being in the corners, decomposing, overall making a mess. But if you are, like, I don't know, once again, this game is just, okay, why is everything the way it is? Is something actually causing all of this, supposedly, or is it just one of those, yeah, it's just already clean it type of storylines? They don't seem to have gone super heavy into the stories elements for this game. It's just more comedy, hit anything else, and then, hey, let's clean and just do something a little non-brain heavy. Alright. Garage cladding. I'm guessing the inside is what's counting next. Yeah. Okay, on this one. This stuff on this roof, it shouldn't be too hard to get some of this done once we really focus on it. Oh wow, I got that whole piece. It did, okay. Oh, that's a cool design. Yeah, a nice little secondary roof there. Looks like we've got quite a lot to do here, though. We gotta get sides and up and down on this little overhang. That's gonna be a tough one in a lot of ways, because it's gonna be very easy to miss things on the siding and the overhang itself. Good thing we can crouch. There we go. Another thing that is interesting with my kids, like that I don't remember from my own childhood. My memory of being younger and all that was I would have a cover, and I would like get under that cover, and that was where I would sleep. That was my comfortable place. I would hide under the covers. I would just I would have a cover on at all times. My kids, unless it's like really cold out and they actually need the cover for warmth, like seriously, they will like be upset if you try to cover them. They will wake up from being covered and be upset about it until they kick that cover off or you remove it. It gets really complicated sometimes, especially on those annoying nights where it's just that right temperature, where it's too cold without a cover but too hot with it. Because then they'll be like, hey, I'm upset because I don't have a cover on. You put a cover on me, how dare you, I'm gonna die. And there's no winning sometimes. Other times they're gonna have like a bad dream and you're gonna be going, oh man, I was trying to sleep, but hey, my child had a bad dream, now they need to get into bed here and I need to share my bed with them to make them comfortable enough to sleep so that I can sleep again. Even if it is sleeping uncomfortably because they're hogging half, even though they're a quarter of your size, they're sleeping over half the bed. Because they just are. Happens. I don't know how many times my kids have just like, oh yeah, let me sleep sideways instead of the other way around, and oh, hey, sorry if I'm kicking you in the side or the face or anything like that while you're trying to sleep. Nope, they don't care. They are just caring about being comfortable and sleeping themselves. Because they are too young to care about other stuff. They're too young to not have that bit of selfishness in that regard. Or that care about where their body's at and what they're doing with it. So they don't care if they've got their toe up your nose. As long as they're comfortable, that's what they're going with. And if they're like my kids and they don't like covers, it can also get really complicated at times when, like, say you're sleeping and you like prefer covers or need covers to stay warm, because I don't have very good body heat retention otherwise. So a lot of the times I am not a big person, and that can make it complicated. If to pull up the covers over yours where you're comfortable means they get too much covers on them and they're uncomfortable, good luck. see if we can... Ah, whoops. No! I fell. This wall is gonna be a fun one, I can tell. It's got lots of windows and an awkward angle. You know, I'm gonna come back to this one. Let's keep working on that. That's done there. I don't need to worry about that. There's that one rusty vent, but for now, we'll just deal with this. Let's see, this is multi-purpose. Alright, do I need to get a special type of cleaning solution or anything to make this come clean better? Let's see. Let's go with some multi-purpose. And there we go, and there we go. Not working the best, but at the same time, kind of working. Wish it didn't run out quite so fast. This solution just goes right through it. Cleaning liquid. At least you can kind of go fairly quickly over it with this stuff. Alright, kind of working, kind of not. I hate how quick this burns through these. It does work well for the greener spots. Maybe I should just focus that for those spots and then we'll use the normal one for the rest. It's hard to tell where the green spots are comparatively. Because they kind of blend in with everything else. So, issues. This is a big job. I think I may have to not get all this done tonight. Yeah, at least that's coming out nicely. Multi-purpose cleaner working wonders on whatever that gunk was. Oh, this is a moldy corner. I can't help notice that your ad says PowerWash. You do realize it involves hot water. You should change the wording on your ad to pressure wash, unless you're planning on an upgrade soon. I mean, I don't know what type of water we're using. Are we using hot water? Cold water? I don't know. Could be spraying Gatorade for all I know. Wow, this... I will say the solution sprayer basically becomes worthless the minute you run out of or the second you run out of any solution in there, though, a special solution, then suddenly it's way too weak to actually clean anything without it. But it is definitely necessary for the spots that need it. Or certainly helpful for it. That clears up a lot of the roof issues. Huh. Alright, making good progress. To be fair, this is a huge roof. Alright, let's change this back up to... Let's go with that one. Nasty. Sorry, being focused on the cleaning. Get the angle right. I really want to fish this roof. Alright. Yeah, this stuff's coming off okay right now. So that's good at least. I think that multi-cleaner or whatever still did help because the area had so much really thick gunk on it. Nice. Nice. Alright, that's a good chunk of that. Yeah. This roof is something, I will give it that. That is quite the roof. This is only the main section of roof. And there's still that smaller area up above. This ladder's probably going to be a pain with some of the angling. I think this is as good as we can get with that right now from this angle, till we can go up higher on in. clear it from the above angle more so. Alright. There we go. Now you could actually sit on that and not feel like you just contracted a disease. This garage roof is hanging in there as a problem. But I think we're getting close. I'm just waiting for that big blue flash to strike with this area and just be like, and it is gone. All along this upper area. I still see we've got some spots we're going to have to refine out a little bit more just to get it to that last percentage. Seeing little spots here and there, which is unfortunately one of the problems of the other one. There we go. Jim wasn't the angle to see that better. Would kind of love to kind of better look at that whole clean. Okay, this is almost certainly going to need some rust cleaning. Well, let's give it a shot. Yeah, that's going to need rust. Okay, so back to this. Let's go to metal cleaner. I need to go down to that one vent and clean it with this stuff as well. I could buy larger containers of cleaner just for this, because boy does it run out so fast. Go, ladder's done. Alright, this isn't nearly as bad looking as I was afraid it would be. Yippee! Woo! Where was that vent? There we go. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this wall. And this is going to be just all sorts of... oh, good. I guess we have a scaffolding, at least we can... oh, I can just move this whole scaffolding. That's great. Yeah, this will be a good one. Scaffolding floor will definitely help. In fact, I think that's the only way we're going to be able to get a lot of that. Alright, that's done, that's all done. Let's shift back to this. Get this done. On the sides, and then we'll jump over from the upper roof to get the upper portion. Okay. This is an annoying angle. I feel like I'm going to walk off accidentally. Fire exit cladding. Huh. Okay, so yeah, now we go up here, and woo! Go up here, shift this. Angling is important. As is often the case with a lot of cleaning, the angle of approach can make a huge difference in how well it goes and how long it takes. I'm kind of reminded of when I was working early morning custodial in college. One of the things we'd have to do sometimes is we'd have to get a foam that we'd just soak down the tiles all in, like the walls, the floor. If the ceiling had been tiled, we would have sprayed that too, probably. You just soak down. You cover up the electric outlets and then spray everything down with this soapy foam, and then rinse it off and scrub it down and make sure it all goes down the drain. And don't get it in your eyes. Don't let it touch your bare skin because it's, acoustic chemicals. But it will look so much better when you're done. And this is kind of what this whole thing here that we're doing now with this game is kind of makes me think of, is doing that sort of cleaning. Because, yeah, we basically just had a hose that you'd hook up to a faucet, and then it would run into a little, mixer drum, if I remember correctly, with a nozzle attached. The pressure of the water would be what would spray through there and make it work. But oh man, it would seem so messy at first, but when you were done, the results were amazing. And something that was a complete nightmare before and super nasty, because trust me, restrooms in college get bad sometimes. But when you're done, oh, so much better. Also, don't put gum on the bottom of your desks, kids. Especially if you're in college. You're adults. There's a garbage can in the room with you, almost certainly. Do not put the gum on the bottom of your desk. That's just rude, and someone has to clean that off later. I know, having been, in many cases, the person who had to clean it off. Because some people still act like, I don't even know, what age is that? Would that sort of behavior be best aggravated to? I feel like it should be considered younger than teenagers, behavior-wise, but eh. Yeah. You back up. Yeah, this cladding is going to be a real pain to get right. Especially since there's some side areas there, they're just going to be a pain to reach. Can I jump up this? No. Okay, really do have to take that ladder. There we go. Oh, fun thing. Maybe some of you have seen them, those big giant floor mopper machines that you ride. Kind of like a big Zamboni machine, only for mopping. I've worked with those before, because they were a big thing you used on the hallways and on the gym floor and whatnot in college. Funny thing with those, the cleaning routines weren't too bad and everything, getting the right chemical ratios added in, not too bad. The hardest thing with those, in a lot of ways, was not falling asleep while driving them, oddly enough. And that was one of the reasons why only certain people were allowed to drive them, because some people lost their privileges because they would crash into something. Because they can be a little tricky to steer in certain conditions. But also because, you just get into, you're going driving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, over and over, and it gets very easy to just kind of get lulled off by the sheer, what would be the right word, mundanity of moving that thing back and forth while you're working on it, going just one line after another, trying not to miss a spot. Kind of like how when you mow a lawn, you have to you kind of make sure the lines overlap just slightly, or very right on top of each other, like right next to each other, enough that you don't have a weird line of grass in between where you've mowed and where, between the various lines of travel you've mowed. And that, you kind of go by that same principle with the little floor washing Zamboni machine of, you have to make sure you don't miss a spot. And that can be tricky at times when it's a big gym floor and you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to make the turns correctly without accidentally driving a little too far off to the side or something. Doc, it's Leonard calls Dad. When can you come round? I've got something filthy dirty for you. Oh, good. This is a massive job. It's almost done. I'm just going to drop down onto right here. Just get this. There we go. Love how that silently cleans all the rest of it. No problems. This is actually a handy little platform. It gives me a decent angle on some of these, and I can just spray down a bunch of this stuff. Unfortunately, it's hard not to fall off while trying to get some of this at a decent angle. Okay, that's done. Alright, that's some thicker stuff that I'll need to get closer to. Oh, I was almost walking off. Actually, by all rights and purposes, I should have fallen right there, because it sure looks like my feet aren't on here. It's a mystery. Powers of floating. Alright, there's that one. I think this angle works better for this right now. Go there. So far, so good. You can sell the worst of this off. Another windowsill down. Gotta get the angling right. Go. Alright. I love how that just suddenly, oh yeah, this part, don't worry about it. Alright, window frame, done. Window frame done. Window's done. That one's already done. That one's done. Alright, we're done with this wall. We're done with that wall. That one's done. That one's done. That one's done. That is not done. I think I need to get up above to get that part. That part's done. That part's done. Unless I'm missing a piece, we're doing pretty good so far. And there we go. Alright. Hey, can I get a details? Cladding, door, windows, door steps, clean, yeah, okay. Drill tower, drill tower, drill tower, drill tower. Office roof. Office walls. Wall toppers. Okay, so we're still missing a few things with the office here. Missing up here. I think this is where it's mostly going at. I want to try to get the main building done tonight, and then I'll have to finish up the rest of it in another night, because I gotta get to bed here. But once again, work in the morning. Plus, my it's definitely getting late. My brain's shutting down on, like, you know, talking topics. You may have noticed, because I got a lot quieter. Alright. Progress is being made. I think that's one of the reasons this game and this like type of game are so appealing at times, because it's just a simple, easy to do, may take some time, but it's fairly easy and simple and straightforward, and you accomplish something, and it gives that feeling of accomplishment. Because it's enough work to, okay, you have to kind of work at it, but also it's not so hard that it's just, ugh, I give up type of hard. We'll say that it can be a little daunting, especially when you're starting these levels, and it's like, oh good, I have to clean all of that. So far, so good. Office roof is coming along nicely. I don't know what they did up here, but looks like an awful lot of mud. Seriously, I'm really thinking there was like a volcanic eruption or something nearby, and just spewed everything with grime. Or, like, seriously, what did you guys do to this place? Nice. It's done. That one's done. We're done with... Oh, something's not here. Some office wall piece is still not done. Ah, wait, there's a little under ledge here. I didn't notice that. This way it's about? Yeah, that's what it was. Weird little under ledge. That is an annoyingly tricky spot to hide things. Alright, there we go. Let me check my details. Clean, 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 clean. Just the drill tower now. What time? Yeah, it's after midnight. I gotta get to bed. Alright. So, yeah, next time we'll wrap up with this. And that'll be good. I'll just save this here. Do I want to make this all part of one episode? I think I might continue this as a part of an episode, so I won't, like, wrap up here. We'll just pick it up where we left off last time. Oh, this is gonna take so much work. This stuff is nasty. Let's see, the drill tower is the one where they, like, practice, you know, going up a flight of stairs. We have a the hose at the right window and all that. I think this is like it's the drill tower. It's their practice unit. Oh, it's filthy on the outside and the inside. That's gonna be. Ugh. In real life, this would be so hard because getting in here with the hose for a cleaner like this would be such a pain. It would get tangled up on something so easily. That said, I think this inside will actually be a lot easier than it initially looks like. Seems like it's coming along pretty well, and patterns and on everything I think will make it work fairly easily. Yeah. So, but we'll continue this next time just because I don't think I can finish this in a reasonable time frame tonight. Yeah. So, good night till we continue. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I'm gonna wrap this up for tonight with I'm gonna wrap up tonight's recording session by wrapping up this level. Looks like we've got a little bit to do, but it looks like also it'll come along pretty quickly. I just finished recording Grounded, and the ending, the good ending for that game. So I'm pretty happy with that. I was playing around. I debated whether to do like New Game Plus and all that with the remixer tech that lets you do the game again, but with some new stuff unlocked and available. But it just, I couldn't justify the time involved, and I was kind of, you know, worked my way through that game enough that I was kind of tired with it. It was time to move on to a new game. I really want to. I still have to finish up Clair Obscure as of the time of my recording this. I'm kind of stuck on Simon. He is kicking my butt on multiple occasions, and I have not worked out a good way to beat him, despite trying some new things, including revamping my entire party's stat blocks and all that. So that's the whole thing I have to try to figure out. But I'm debating whether it would be, with Clair Obscure, whether it would be better for me to just leave Simon as him being an optional boss and all anyway, and just wrapping up the game for the time being. Because I really want to get around to playing Callisto Protocol. I want to get around to getting back to No Man's Sky, because they've made a lot of changes to No Man's Sky and updates, and since I played it last, and I'm kind of got that itch for that game right now. But, yeah. The issues of you can only fit so many things on your computer and into your schedule. Even right now, like, part of the reason I'm recording this right now, one, because I had already recorded the first portion yesterday and needed to finish this up so I could get a full episode put together to put out, but also because after finishing up Grounded, I only had so much time in my day before I need to get to bed because I've got work in the morning. So I know this is something I should be able to finish up within the time frame I have available before I need to get to sleep, and it's something that I can, chat about and work on and just enjoy, have a little wind down before bed after wrapping up Grounded. I was very happy with that game, by the way. It worked out really nicely. I don't think I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but it was better than I expected it to be. Things coming cleaner a lot easier than I thought it was going to. Not that there aren't a few spots that are being difficult, but, like, compared to what I thought this thing was going to give me trouble with, so far, so good. We're making good progress on the cleaning, and I'm able to move along at a decent pace. Yep, there we go. That one's done. Alright, the wall frame apparently is going to take quite a while. Looks like it's got a lot of pieces to it. Alright. Drill tower wall frame. Different wall frame. I'm guessing part of the reason this is so unclean still, even though I've been working along some parts of it, is I think some of these are also involved on the inside of this place. Or at least I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Yeah, good enough for now. Moving on. Okay, that's that part. Let's go up here and reach some more. Yeah, I definitely look forward to playing Callisto Protocol. I've never actually gotten around to playing that game. I've meant to play it for years, and I just never was able to, sit down and do it. I always got distracted with other things. So Callisto Protocol is one I'm looking forward to. I know it's going to be very dark, very Dead Space-like in a lot of ways, but also its own thing. Of course, I suppose it makes sense it would be Dark Space-like. It's made by some of the same people, is my understanding, as the original Dead Space. Unless I'm remembering completely incorrectly. Yeah, this is a good spot to work from. It's kind of fun to be able to use the indicator activation and just be watched as some of the stuff disappears. There we go. One part done. Good. We have to get up closer to some of that. Really make it work. Yeah, it's really weird. Like, some buildings in this game are just completely filthy, but like if you look across the street and otherwise everywhere else doesn't match up in that regard. You're like, so why isn't everywhere filthy? But some of these areas are definitely something went wrong. Funky thing with this game that I will continue to question. Other than the fact that, of course, it's a game, whatever. Game logic. Alright, this thing's almost done. There we go. Go. Higher. Whoop. I don't think I was supposed to get on the roof this way. Looks like I was supposed to get on the roof via the inside. And also, I'm kind of not on the roof. Woo! Yeah, it's okay. I didn't need my knees. Legs are overrated. This is a funky brick texture or brick design they have in this. Like, it's weird. Like, the metal reflections and everything they have in this game are great, and they look very metallic. But this doesn't look like brick. To me, like, the texture's not quite grainy enough. It looks very much like it just is a wallpaper of brick. Kind of a funky one of those details that is just sticks out a bit for me and seems odd. Alright, there's that done. Nice. Again, I can push C to move it like this. Okay, hopefully I got the bottom of the stairs well enough. Ah. Let's see, other games. I really should put more time into Hellslave, because that one, I just need to sit down and play, and it's, unfortunately, it's not a bad game. It's interesting, but it also just hasn't caught me nearly as well as some of these other games. I know Hollow Knight Silk Song just released, actually for real, and it's actually a thing now. That's great, and not just a rumor mill thing. But the likelihood of me getting around to playing that anytime soon is a bit on the lower end. I just, yeah. Once again, too many things to do, not enough time. And unfortunately, things take time. It is a commodity I don't always have. This would be a really bad design, by the way, for in real life to not like the building is bad design, but for me to be washing it from the bottom up, working from the bottom floor and going up, horrible design. Because all of this gunk up here would really, in reality, be washing downhill, going to the bottom, and really what I should do is start at the top and work my way down. And by the time it got down to the bottom, it would be a horrible soup of nastiness. Build tower inside wall. Oh, they broke it up into pieces. I didn't even realize that. Okay. Some of that I'm missing. Looks like I need to get some rust removal for the steps. Just keep going. I'll come back through once I've cleaned out the majority of stuff. I'll come back through with the rust metal cleaner and just blast all the steps to get that rust off of there, and that should do the trick. Alright, we're up to 4 stars, almost done. Progressing, nice. This game's just nice for not having to be thinking about it too much. Just go, do it, relax, breathe. This is a good breathe it. Like, just sit and breathe, take a rest from overworking and whatnot type of game. Even though it's a game about working and cleaning, it doesn't give that general feel. And that's weird. It's a weird way how this game works. Kind of nice though. Definitely helps with the appeal of the game, for me at least. What's down here? There's that. I'll have to get outside of the building next. But at least with this done, the outside, once it's done, will really count. More graffiti. I wonder how well a power washer would actually take off graffiti in real life. I've never really worked with a power washer like that. To this, at least not of this nature, and under these conditions, and take off graffiti and junk. So I don't know how it would work. All my times involving cleaning walls, like I talked about cleaning bathrooms in janitorial work, and how we'd foam down the walls and whatnot, but that was mostly the foaming cleaner rather than water pressure. It did a lot of the cleaning there. Plus a bit of scrubbing. As needed. Which, blech. Sometimes they did need. Go. Almost done with that bit. We're getting closer to the top. Yeah, I think we got another floor or two, but hard to tell. From in here, anyway. There's that one done. Good. Okay, so I guess the walls do count as the inside walls versus the outside walls. That's good to know. Because I know I didn't have that cleaned nearly enough for that to do that if it was kind of the outside with that. And here I was thinking they were all part one and the same. I guess in the other levels they separate inside and outside walls generally, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. Thinking back to the wind, especially with like the playground, like there's the top. Okay, we are pretty close. Go, there we go. Nice. Almost there. Coming along very nicely. I'm glad that they didn't make this a complete grind to get through this area. Like, it's a big area, but it looks like they made it mostly easy to clean stuff. So I don't have to wade through here quite, like, minusculely small brush size or spray size just to get through enough pressure to get off harder to get things. Looks like all of it comes off fairly easily. And quickly, so I can just kind of do a quick once over at decent range and have it done. A few spots on the wall, I guess, are a little touchy, but either way, it's still not bad. There's a very red bricks, though. I guess there are bricks that are that kind of red, but in real life, but it just I don't know. Don't usually see them that way very much, and they're usually a lot more porous. That's done. This. Alright. Now, either on the way down or on the way back up if I fall off the top here, I will use the rust removal on the steps to get the last bits done. But for now, we're good to go, and I can just go up here. Nice. Good. That was kind of weird looking. Alright. Alright. Well, maybe the stairs are all done after all. Because I got the flooring that bounced down there as well, so... Okay. Cool. Maybe I don't have to use rust removal. Okay, I probably will up here. Because it looks like these railings are not great. Come on, almost done. Just a little further. We'll be done with this mess. And we can see what else they've unlocked for us now. Get up on here. Okay, that's slightly annoying. I don't want to have to bring a stool or a ladder up here just to get this last bit. They won't quite let me on here easily. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely blast this area from the outside area as well. But this is the inside portion nicely taken care of. And the grime up here seems believable too. Because, yeah, I could definitely see some mold or some lichen growing on this sort of place just because of it being up so high and whatnot. Not that. This. Metal. Yeah. Alright, those two are done. What am I missing on this one? Really? There we go. And down to go to check the outside. Good. Yeah. Okay, these stairs are all good, so I don't need the metal cleaner anymore. Just a matter of cleaning up on the last 3 walls, which this would be very helpful for. Okay, it kind of annoys me that I can't with the build. Oh well, we'll move on. I will try to ignore that. Go. Moving up. Another one of those done. Because this, whatever this is, kinda looks questionable either way. Could be lichen, could be rust and mud, could be chemical runoff from some fire suppressant, could be what else? I don't even know. Could be leftover ash and gunk from a controlled fire for trading purposes, given that this is a fire station setup. I don't know. I unfortunately do lack hands-on experience in regards to firefighting setups and training grounds because I've never been a firefighter myself. Not even a volunteer firefighter. I'm not exactly the best build for it. Being 130 pounds most of the time, maybe 140 soaking wet. Sure, I got a lot of muscle on me and all that. But it would. Most of my equipment would weigh more than me in a lot of cases, and I would have a real hard time counterbalancing high-level pressure on the hoses and not just getting blasted across the parking lot, which would be entertaining for some people, but not when I'm supposed to be, keeping their house from burning to the ground. Coworkers would probably find it hilarious, though. Don't get stuck on the steps. Come on, go on. A little touchy on some of those step portions. Where it was like, are you caught? Maybe a little bit. There we go. I think that's everything here. Next up is... let's see. Missing something on one of these. This one? Okay. Something here. That might be on this far wall, I suppose. And we'll bring this over to here, spin it around. Again, kinda bugged by it not lining up well. Got to deal with the window sills now. Maybe it's just me, but this side's gunk seems slightly more persistent in a few areas. Probably just me. That part. This. Oh, getting some weird spin around there. I was too close to this corner of the whole walkway here. It's screwing up my camera movement. There we go. Coming along. Ah, that one's done. Nice. Another windowsill down. Another wall down. Go up again. Rinse, repeat. Should be getting close to the point where it's like, you've only got a few things left. Here they are. Or rather, here's the few things that you have left. Find them. But at least you know their names now. Which will hopefully give you a clue as to where to look. But in this case, I don't think I'll need any clues because I have a pretty good sense of which parts of this building I still have left to clean. There it is. To do a few more ledges. There's one of them. This one won't get done until I can get around to the other side. Get to the right side here. There's that. There's that. Tower frames, tower walls, and one ledge. Yeah. Woo! Yep. So glad I don't really... Right about... Not bad. Oh, this one definitely has some slightly harder to remove bits. I see that brown in there. How am I gonna get the corner there? Just how I may have to take another go at this from a slightly different angle somehow in order to get the one side of this. Because there's an area right here I don't think I'm getting from this angle. But I can't get a better angle from it quite either. At least I can get this side pretty good with the angling. That should help. I just want to make sure I do a good enough job of it. I don't have to come back if I like from having missed a piece. There we go. Yeah, could definitely do with this corner bit not being quite so close to the fence edge, and thus hard to reach. That's done. Alright, just the tower walls now, which I think are mostly on this edge here. Missed a spot. There we go. Well, maybe if I do this right. It's got a good line in it. Yeah, definitely got some more to go there, though. Alright, how can I make it? Can't really fit that. Can I fit it from this angle, maybe? Enough so over that I can reach? No. Well, that's annoying. Or if they meant that to happen, or what? Oh, that's one part done. There we go. Hey, FA, any chance you can come hose down our spare truck? The mayor's running us ragged over here. Great. Phew. That was a bigger project. I find it weird that it doesn't show the stairs I was using, so it just looks like I'm walking around, floating in the air. Okay, so now we have cleaned Grandpa Miller's car. We have cleaned the fire truck. And once again, that skate park we meant to do, but ended up being accidentally clicking on the other thing. What time is it? I think we might be able to pull off the car. Clean Grandpa Miller's car. Hello, Doc. I hope you're as good with cars as you are with houses, because I've got my old wagon out of the garage. It's dirtier than a dung beetle's Christmas list. It still turns over fine, but I'm not taking Dolores out for a spin till it's as gleamy as she is. Thanks, Leonard. Okay. Details. Doesn't look too bad. Doc, it's Leonard calls Dad. When can you come around? I've got something filthy dirty for you. Good. Let's try it. I think we can get this done tonight. You might find the odd streaky line where Bert tried to clean it with his power washer. Dribble washer, more like it. Haha. More like, haha. Okay. So, in other words, they tried to clean it a bit themselves, but it wasn't great. Okay. I have a feeling I'm going to have to use a lot of rust removal on this one. Yeah, definitely got to use a lot of rust cleaner for this. Maybe some glass cleaner or something else. I'm not 100% sure. Guaranteed rust cleaner is needed. This thing is bad. Well, let's get the main gunk out first. Bye, Jimmy. By Jiminy, that's right. I used to race this beast all over. It's got a grunt like an angry rhino. Heck, I won the 1989 race of champions in it. 1989. Year I was born. Wow. No, I didn't. I watched that on TV. Okay. Turbo fast car. What was that? A little side mirror? Or a side reflector? I should probably get up in these wheel wells while I'm here. Your ad here. Classic. Wonder where this thing was supposedly sitting. Hey, dirt! It had some of this dirt on it because pretty sure your car shouldn't be growing green stuff. What? Get lost, would ya? Huh? What is going on with that? What is going on with these messages? Okay. Was there like someone else on the state? But wait. Would they be using the same phone then? I'm slightly confused by their messaging. Because that just seems weird. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, okay, I'm definitely gonna have to get some rust cleaner. How long will you be? I was thinking of taking the car for a tear up down the old abandoned sewer system. Is that Ocean's 11 reference? I think it was Ocean's 11 where they get a bunch of buggies and drive them along an old abandoned waterway or sewer system as part of their escape route. Okay, we're going to have to use the rust remover, metal cleaner. There we go. So much better. Hey, I've had a word with Lenny, and he's certainly not going to be tearing up and down the sewer system. We'll be sticking to Main Street for now. There's that. That. Good. Roof. What am I missing? It says I'm missing a teeny spot. There we go. Okay. Spoiler is still missing this spot somewhere. Okay, I don't see it, but alright. I think we're done with the metal cleaner for the moment. Let's do this one and see if that makes a difference. There we go. This brake light's still missing somewhere. Oh, wait, that one is going to need more metal cleaner. Alright. Alright. There we go. 2 windows, windscreen, and 2 headlights. That sounds like all glass stuff. So, is there a glass cleaner? There is. Let's see if that helps. Oh, there it is. That window's good, that window's good, that window's good, this window. Alright, then just the headlights. And there we go. All done. That's a nice little derby car. Doc, the car looks so fresh. You are a superstar. A soapstar. Haha. I cannot wait to see old Bert's face when me and Dolores streak past his front yard and he sees what a power washing pro can do. Alright, and done. Nothing new yet. But alright, I'm going to end this episode here. It is time for me to head to bed. How are we doing on buying the next level? Wait, do I have that one? Prima Vista 3000 owned. I don't own that one yet. Okay. Now I do. But I can't really afford any of its attachments. So we're still sticking with the level 2 one for the time being until I can really work this out. Yeah, I don't want to spend all my money, so that'll do. Alright. Career. Good stuff. Well, everyone, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit like and subscribe to keep up with new releases if you're new here and haven't done so already. Thanks for watching. Have a great night. Bye.